concerned, the modules are very specific, and the latest in the banking industry is Basel norms of governance. It again, lays a lot of stress on transparency and accountability, because one who exercises an authority, he has also to be accountable. One without the other is meaningless and is subject to judicial review. That, of course, is an area which I am not including here, that how judicial review should also be inculcated in, day-to-day, the corporate governance is concerned. But being a service-oriented institution, the bank has to see what the greatest possible good of the greatest number and customer satisfaction in terms of the Consumer Protection Act, that there is no deficiency of service. The deficiency cannot be subjective. It has to be, for example, a customer comes to the bank either for the loan or for withdrawal. If he has any problem, he goes to the manager, and even still if it is not there, which has any connotation of any sort of legal hurdle or otherwise, he can also approach the RBI's scheme of banking ombudsman. The banking ombudsman in turn will be an alternate dispute redressal system within the banking setup. Now, Consumer Protection Act, like any other civil, case, it also takes a little time. Therefore, I would suggest that the banking ombudsman scheme of RBI is far more effective.
Okay, sir, half minute more.
With the kind permission, I am just summing up. I'll read out the various modules which I have listed, and that would be of a great value to the banking industry, which has already been recognized time and again, both India and internationally. That is prescribed model code of best practices, practicable and feasible. Nothing should be such which should sound Latin and Greek. It has to be service-oriented and it has to be properly implemented. The next one is preferred internal systems which are based upon professional expertise, acumen of time-tested benchmark efficacy. Now, with the growing competition throughout the world in the banking industry, we are not internally a regional bank or anything. Now, the trend is mergers and acquisitions and global perspective. And as far as the banks are concerned, they are not simply operating in India alone or in one segment of the country, one part of the country. With the improved mechanism of and improved advancement of communication, the world has become a very small village, I would say, or a small place to live in, and the interaction is far more efficacious than it used to be sometimes back, say that 10 years or 15 years back. And duly approved recommendation and disclosure requirements. Disclosures, they go a long way to eradicate and eliminate frauds, and including the statement that are being made in the balance sheet. Supposing there is a conversion, like in certain computers case, the conversion took place with the connivance of the auditors. This is a serious lapse, though it is not a bank. Yet, any bank, because auditing is something which takes care of it as a supervisory mechanism, but that apart, besides the auditing, accounting auditing, there has to be a legal audit. With these words, there is so much more to say, but I am sorry the chair has permitted me with only, I would not exceed with the liberty granted to me, and I will take undue advantage of the liberty.
I will be containing others 3 minutes.
And then the World Bank has also said once upon a time, that is way back in 1999, that checks and balances in banks is of a paramount importance. I'm not yet satisfied in, presenting my paper. It is not, it is
They
not.
will be publishing all papers on website.
Then kindly go through it.
Yes.
I tender my unconditional apologies to all of you here for not being satisfied myself and for having failed to my duty.
Because my volunteers could not start. They were eating and eating.
So with these words, I would be very happy if anybody could pose any questions in the question and answer series. But right now there is no time. With these words, and I solicit that if you have anything which is not clear, then kindly let me know. Thank you so much.
Now I will discuss Mr. Ravin Majumdar in 3 minutes only. Yes, this is a subject you can speak for 1 hour, but that will also be less. The subject is yes, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, sir. Thank you all distinguished guests present today. Corporate governance is a very general topic, and in India we have a very new kind of scenario, specifically arising out of the Satyam financial fraud, and also the very recent corporate lobbying affair, which has clandestinely shown that there is no governance as such other than the corporate responsibility. I have a very specific role to play here. I cannot have more than 2 minutes luxury. So I'm just summing up whatever is available with me now. There are many ways that corporate governance can be achieved other than the legal process. That is of the key players should be acting as a gatekeepers. Gatekeepers like corporate directors, in-house and outside counsel, internal and external auditors. All those key players should be in together, play like a gatekeeper, so that nothing illegal, nothing unsocial activity happens in the corporate houses. The Ministry of Corporate Affairs also very recently has formulated a new organization called SFIO, Serious Fraud Investigation Office. In that specifically it has a mandate to inspect the programs to review the corporate houses' financial statements and accounting policies and practices. Here the new topic, new direction what I feel that I should convey to all my colleagues here is that advocates and consultants who are directly or indirectly connected with the corporate houses also needs to be more serious before giving any kind of opinion or any kind of consultancy as such, because SFIO also has equal force and power to exercise powers on the consultants and advocates involved in it. The Board of Directors has an added responsibility to hire, retain and compensate the General Counsel. So there is a good benefit that Board of Directors should change from a traditional concept of governing a mere company to corporate social functioning. Then I have another view is like the Board of Directors also should conduct a comprehensive evaluation of existing shareholders' communication. The beneficiary in the corporate frauds are very limited, but the effect on it is the general public and the shareholders concerned. So shareholders' communication is very much needed in today's concept in order to regulate the corporate frauds, if not eliminate altogether. And then the director should be more modern wise equipped than the focusing only the traditional kind of running a small business or small concept of business. So they should focus more on the risk and engage more in the detailed appreciation and understanding of the risk and their company's product and service areas. Then the possible measures what arises out of all this imbroglio is that the corporate governments are probably the best tackled with the mixture of regulatory, investors, board responsibility in collection, and if not, then there is another new concept of measures like public-private partnership model, which has seen a tremendous growth and also tremendous success limitations of the system. Then the last thing is, but not the least, is Tata model. Tata model, which has evolved and has been very much successful in the form of Tata Business Excellence model. It has evolved a very in-house kind of discipline, of the corporate activity. It's like leadership, I'll just 30 seconds by word. Leadership, commitment, management structure, business excellence planning, progress review mechanism, and awareness and training among the player which is within the organization itself. And the last is the corporate governance measures should be, it's like one-page solution. It's like a checklist has to be prepared by the board of directors, and they should act more as a modern functionary rather than the daily management or daily managerial system. And lastly, I conclude that corporate government companies must evolve new ideas based on the shareholders' expectation and also the public at large, but all by the best business practice and law. I'm thankful to you all.
And so now I will request Mr. S.K. Patri, advocate, to present his friend Mr. Rajesh Agarwal and my dear friends and colleagues. I am a practicing lawyer in the Supreme Court of India for the last 25 years. What I am saying today regarding the social corporate responsibility in our country is not progressing in league with the people's demands of our country. Tata's, they are doing their own business. I am coming from a very backward state, though it has great mineral resources in the world. That is Odisha. Vedanta is coming there. Vedanta is looting people in the name of giving education to the people. And they are destroying the environmental balance. The Dombariya Kangas, those are living for the generations to come. They are living for the millennium years, but they are being ousted. And they are not giving the proper benefits. And now also the postcodes are also coming. They are destroying the postal values and postal culture of our country and also our great heritage. They are destroying the spirit of Indian culture. And people, those are suffering, they are not getting proper drinking water. They are not being concerned. They are only main business is that to sell the iron ores and other bauxites which are being abundant in our country. So these big leagues, those are coming from outside, even Indians, they are our company. They are not against anybody, but they are not thinking of the real people's problems. They are only thinking of their how to amass their money. They should be regarded as one of the greatest millionaires of the time. They should be named in the Times magazine. So these are their more main focus. They are never thinking of the real people, those are the beneficiaries. They are never thinking. They are never doing anything. Only because of the Maoवाದಿ, the Laksariks are giving great hate because they are not giving their proper employment also. They are giving not even the Chaprash posts, even not, they are giving also the Darwan's post. They are saying that they are all are coming from outside. So these are some of the problems, the social responsible leaders. Maybe Ambani's, maybe Tata's, maybe Birla. They are thinking that only their think tank is only Delhi, London. They are thinking never for India. They are for the real people of the Odisha, real people of the poor people of the country. They are like as Rahul Gandhi said that we are the people, India and Bharat. So we should think of them. Mahatma Gandhi said, I will only conclude with only small saying that Mahatma Gandhi said that you people are staying in Delhi. This is not India. Go to the rural people. They are the real spirit and soul of India life. Thank you very much. Editor-in-Chief of Witness Magazine.
Minute by minute. So let me introduce myself. I started my magazine called Witness. Witness is a magazine, monthly magazine, where bringing out some hot topics as well as useful topics for the litigants as well as the corporate lawyers. It's a platform to share their views and express their opinion candidly without any hesitation.